Greetings, nerds! Welcome back to Disenthrall. I am Patrick Smith. Today we have a really cool show for you. I will get to our special guest in a moment, but first I want to really quickly just give some shout-outs of some amazing, cool, exciting things that we have coming up soon. 3 things. Number 1, if somehow you're not already aware, we have finished production and have released to the general public Larkin Rose's Candles in the Dark online seminar. You can get that at attendcandles.com. So the seminar that he's been doing only in person up until now, sort of all over the world, all over the U.S. and Mexico at Acapulco, you now no longer have to travel to and pay the money for hotels and spending the weekend wherever he's doing it at. Now you can just go to attendcandles.com and sign up. I think it's $70 or something like that, and you get the entire 8 or 9 hours of content in a rewatchable fashion. You know, if you miss something, you can go back and watch it multiple times and really learn how to talk to the general public, the general statist, how to connect with people around these topics in a way that won't, raise their guard and make you make them run screaming, right away at least. That's number 1. Number 2 is I'll save number 2 for last. Number 3, we actually have Feed the Need coming up December 7th, and I've pimped this every show that we've had recently, and I'm going to continue doing so. If you are anywhere near Dallas, Texas, December 7th, and you want to witness a type of defiant yet peaceful activism like you have never experienced in your life, come visit us in Dallas December 7th. We are going to be breaking the law in multiple ways now, in new ways that we haven't had to break the law before because they have made more things illegal that didn't used to be illegal. Used to, it was just feeding people. Now it's feeding people and giving them, tents to sleep in the freezing cold at night. Both of those things are illegal, and we will be breaking both of those laws on December 7th, and we will be doing it armed such that we get left alone to help people. It is a type of activism I promise you've never experienced before. It feels amazing. So we have people traveling from across the country to join us at this event because it is that impactful and that awesome. So if you can get to Dallas, please get to Dallas December 7th for Feed the Need. The last thing I wanted to shout out is I've just been feeling very thankful, and it's not just the cliche. It's not just because of Thanksgiving making me feel all squishy and stuff, but I really am thankful, and I don't often enough thank Kason Bryden for being a big part of Disenthrall, supporting almost everything that we do in some way or another. He is he is not only my partner in Disenthrall, but he is one of the best, most virtuous activists that I know. He has made so much stuff possible, including almost single-handedly the Larkin Rose Candles in the Dark online seminar for you guys. So I just wanted to shout out to Kason. He doesn't get thanked enough. Thank you, Kason, for being here. The second thing I wanted to thank is all of our supporters. I don't thank you guys enough. I make cool little background wallpapers with your names on them that fly by the Patreons and Subscribe Star supporters and the people that contribute to the channel that help us buy the equipment and cover the costs that we have. I think our Restream account alone is like $500 a year or whatever. But I wanted to thank you guys. You putting your support behind our work is so encouraging and so motivating. And I want to tell you something that maybe your support has brought to the world that might not have otherwise existed, and you guys should take a little piece of the credit for. I have recently finished recording the final page of the final chapter of Larkin Rose's The Most Dangerous Superstition book into an audiobook form that I am trying to get released to Audible and to the major sources before Christmas. That was the supporters of this channel need to feel like they take a little bit of the credit for that book. So I want to thank you guys, and I want to let you know what your support has helped bring to the world. I think, as you're probably aware, that book is a world-changing book. It is a very powerful book. It has woken up a lot of people to the ideas of voluntarism, and we are bringing it to the world now in a form that a lot of people don't have time to read, but they sure have time to throw on an audiobook in the car. So that is that. Now, got all that out of the way. I want to introduce our special guests. We have more than one this time. Welcome to the show, Kingsley and Aaron Nakamoto, the creators, the CEO and community manager of the brand new social network Flote. I say brand new. How long has it been around? Oh, hold on. This is my bad. I had you muted too long. Say that again. My bad.
Yeah, about 4 months.
Okay,
We launched actually right the day of Anarcho Vegas. So we live streamed Anarcho Vegas.
Anarcho Vegas is your event as well, right?
It is, yeah. So it's a one-day event just full of solutions, not problems. That's our major focus for the conference, and so that's every July.
Awesome. Well, we have a lot of really cool things to talk about. We could go into the conference, but I want to kind of focus on Flote. And let me kind of set you up to where I'm coming from on this thing. About a year and a half ago, let's back up even farther. I am an IT entrepreneur. I have started multiple companies and brought multiple products to market. And one of the things I was considering taking on about a year and a half ago was competition for Facebook and the god-awful social networks that exist out there. And I did some due diligence. I spent about 3 months looking into exactly what it would take to try and compete and to try and put together a solution in that space. And it is quite, and I tell you that just so that you know that I understand the magnitude of the undertaking of what you're doing is. So if you could maybe talk us through that, like when you set out to do it, what was your motivation? And then what was your experience of kind of the barriers to entry into that field?
Yeah, so we ended up befriending quite a few content creators that were personally affected by what was happening with the demonetization and shadow banning and everything on YouTube and also on Facebook. And I think I was targeted from one of the bugs that Facebook had after I did one post that talked badly about Facebook, and like a couple months later, Project Veritas.
And he's convinced you shadow banned on Twitter.
Yeah, and I think I'm pretty sure shadow banned on Twitter for like a while, because I already have like so much more, almost as many followers on Flote and much more engagement on Flote than Twitter. So, you know, we were actually we were actually developing a privacy coin wallets initially. And then we were going to pivot to like kind of a Patreon model. And then we saw Bitbacker enter the space. And we said, you know what, the hell with it. And just seeing kind of the trend of people, just distrusting Facebook. And then now what's going on with YouTube, especially.
You're good. Yeah. I'm showing off.
And just it just seems like there's, their big tech is kind of in cahoots to basically attack free speech. And I think that's a big problem. So I started by kind of doing, similar research as yourself. And I was looking into different platforms that were already out there, especially decentralized platforms. And they were way too confusing, even for myself. I've been into crypto since early 2013, and just, we just thought that let's throw
our hat in the ring, see what comes back.
Yeah. So we're not necessarily trying to take over Facebook, although I think they are shooting themselves in the foot every single day. But we just wanted to offer an alternative that was easy for people to use, and we also wanted to showcase how great really cryptocurrencies are as far as, for payments. Mm-hmm. So we ended up launching Flote with, we have encrypted messaging, we have a crypto Patreon model, we're going to launch storefronts.
Each account comes with your own Bitcoin wallet. And, we just kind of really wanted to create a home for these content creators, like YouTube takes a huge chunk of their money, Patreon takes a huge chunk of their money. And we're just tired of seeing content creators exploited. So we wanted to give them a home base and a place where they can fully monetize. So
That's good that you brought that up. Super chats are available at the address above if you want to drop a message in chat or donate to support the channel or the stream. And like they're talking about, if you guys are watching on YouTube and you use the built-in YouTube super chat, Google takes 30% of whatever money you try and hand me. And so we've had large donors here before, and they will literally do like $100 super chat, which blows my entire mind. But I don't think that they're aware that they're basically handing Google $30 when they do that. So we have an alternate address up there if you use the Streamlabs link, or I guess, I've set this up because we were on Bitbacker for a while. Let me kind of bring this up so people can see. We have the same sort of support levels that we have on Subscribestar and Patreon. We have them set up on our Flote profile here. So you can pay for this with USD or crypto, or how does this work?
Yeah, it's Bitcoin right now. We're going to be adding support for other major altcoins and including a stable coin here in the next couple months. So we're really excited about that. And also, I can actually send you a super chat on Flote too.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and do that to show you exactly how it works. So with the super chat feature on Flote, there are no fees taken out except for minor fees, and that basically just processes the Bitcoin transaction. So Flote does not get a cut of the donation that you send to your favorite creators.
Yeah, you should do this, Scott. Yeah, there you go.
I see it right there. Yeah, so that's not integrated with the rest of my Streamlabs stuff to get like fancy stuff showing up on screen yet. Is that planned or in the works? I mean, like you've got to have, and I've seen this over and over, and I've experienced this when I bring products to market, but there is a constant stream of, well, is there plans for XYZ in your product's future? And you probably have a literal metric shit ton of those at this point. But I guess I'll just throw mine onto the pile. Do you have plans on integrating with things like Restream for the chat for the live stream and Streamlabs for the super chat type stuff?
Yeah. We're looking pretty much like everybody that's come with ideas. I mean, not to brag or anything, but I have a long-term vision that's going to take probably 1 to 2 years to really build out fully. But yeah, I mean, really, including yourself, everybody that's come to us with feature requests, we've kind of already thought of, and it's at least on the list. So it's just a matter of, time and money and
Green and Barrett, thanks for the $1. Appreciate it.
What's up? Question for guests. What are your marketing plans to blow up this Facebook alternative? Good on you for being part of the solution. #feed the need.
Very good. So his basic question, I was about to say we need to back up because I got really excited and started showing off the live stream and stuff on your platform. But I want to back up and so first of all, I want to preface everything I'm about to ask by saying that I did not take the time to clear any of these questions with you. So you have 100% free and clear, no hard feelings veto. If you don't want to talk about or answer anything that I'm going to ask, I would like to ask about how your company's set up, how the tech is functioning, how you have it set up. So if something is off limits, dude, please, you can just say so and we'll move on. It's totally fine. This can be private, okay? So can we just back up and maybe talk about how is the company set up? How many kind of employees do you have? How many developers do you have working on this? Is it a solo show? How's do you have investors helping you out? Can we get the overview?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're a Delaware C Corp. Kind of standard startup. We have just a handful of investors right now, and there's 4 of us on the team. We went through our most notable investor would be Boost VC, which we went through earlier this year, and that's our second time going through it. I went through it with my previous company. So and then we have two developers right now, and we're currently fundraising. So we're hoping to build out our team.
Yeah. So we're a relatively small team, so we get feature or questions all the time, about hey, when's dark mode coming? When's edit post feature coming? And we're like, it's coming, guys. We're a small team. We're still fundraising. Give us some time, and we'll make sure that these things happen. But it's just our 2 developers, Kingsley and myself, at the moment. So.
And we have a videoception thing going on with the stream. I'm just enjoying showing it off. But so I want to, like, for those that aren't aware of how these companies work and how they need to operate, in my personal opinion, take it for what it's worth, I guess. But there have been social networks that have tried to bite off more than they can chew too fast. They've tried to release too many features, broken garbage too quickly. And when I see these new networks that pop up, because if you look at the Disenthrall page, we are we probably post to more platforms than and we just removed like 4 of them, but like we are sluts when it comes to cross posting, because we want to support all these alternative platforms, to the greatest extent possible. But so I am used to joining these new social networks when they're brand new, and I'm used to watching them crash and burn. And one of the symptoms that I always see is that they try and do too much too fast. They release too much complicated stuff that doesn't work at all, and it's ugly or it's whatever. And then when I saw your app, when I saw Flote for the first time, I was like, wow, hold on. This guy is, it's obviously like I would call it, and this is not an insult, it's like a Spartan interface. I can tell that you're not trying to overdo it too quickly. You're trying to do something, get something functional and have it function well first, and then build on that as you go. And I'm telling you, and for anybody watching, that is exactly what you want to see from these new companies. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, we're really focused on just usability and making it the design as clean as possible. So there's still a couple bugs that we're working out here and there, but for the most part, it works, and we're constantly fixing things and adding new features. So
let's sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say there are definitely some sites out there where once you look at the screen, there's so much to look at, and you don't really know where to go. That was something that really prompted us to use a clean interface. And so we wanted to just do something different and have something that is clean and something that works well. And we're still in betas, but once we fix a couple more things and add a few more features, we're going to be running super smooth. So we're excited.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you credit for not trying to do too much. And there is nothing wrong with having a small team and moving a little bit slower. You got time. Facebook's not going anywhere, And I got to say, already your live streaming functions better than Facebook. I've had less trouble with live streaming to your platform than I have Facebook. Facebook is terrible. Phobes in the comments says, look at Google's initial success. Most people loved the simplicity of their website, and that was part of their initial success. So thanks for that comment. So let's go to Green and Barrett's paid comment here. He says, what are your marketing plans to blow up this Facebook alternative?
Our big thing is really just putting a net down for all the people that are sick of Facebook. I feel I still go on Facebook here and there, but it's mostly just to promote floats and try to recruit people. But the biggest part of our marketing plan is really going after content creators like yourself and just offering them a place where they can come and accept cryptocurrency with no fee. And hopefully, you'll promote it to your audience, kind of like you are right now. And then, we're going to be adding some things like we're looking at ways where you can share to Facebook from after you make a post. You can already link your Twitter, so when you make a post, it'll go to there. And what else? Oh, and then we're also looking into where you can download your Facebook data, and we're planning on doing a big delete Facebook marketing campaign with that, where you'll be able to download all your data and upload it to Flote, so you're not missing out on anything.
Oh, nice! Like a delete Facebook campaign. I like the sound of that even.
Just marketing the content creators and trying, just getting them to talk to their audience and, moving over. I think it's kind of a no-brainer to move on to alternative platforms with zero fees. You want to move to where you can monetize the most and get the most bang for your buck. So, for that, I think that makes the most sense.
And we're also right now we're working on adding ads for content creators, so they can start monetizing by uploading videos.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. We're supposed to have that up by December 10th.
which is the big perk day.
So the other feature that I would ask about, since we're in the asking about features phase, would be if when I live stream, is there any plans to have those live streams saved, and is there any kind of time frame when that'll happen? Or and it's fine. I don't want to rush you. I'm just kind of curious if how that looks, or what that where is that on the timeline?
Yeah, we've been getting that a lot. I'd say 1 to 3 months. It's in the pipeline. Just a matter of time. So.
Which is a great segue into the architecture question. I'm a nerd, and again, for the people that watch the show, they know that I'm pretty technically inclined. I know that storage is probably the biggest. Bandwidth is cheap in comparison to storage, and the maintenance of holding everyone's data. Can you tell me anything, or tell us anything about how you kind of plan to architect that? Are you using like Amazon or some cloud service that already has that handled? And what's the back end look like for storing what will become like a massive amount of data?
So right now we have $200,000 in credit for storage with Amazon and another company. So we're using up that right now while we're still small and growing. But the plan is we're going to be introducing our kind of decentralization strategy where users will be able to actually help us with storage in the future and back up their own content or other people's content. Not using a blockchain, we're looking at other technology. But and that also how it goes with what we're going for, which is censorship resistance. So yeah, that's something big that's we're planning on rolling out in the next year.
Rika, AWS is Amazon Web Services. That's Amazon's cloud hosting. They're probably the largest. They got a lot of the early government contracts, and so they were able to get a massive wad of money to build out their infrastructure early on, and so now they're pretty much the dominant cloud platform out there, thanks to those government money dollars. So it's amazing that you have $200,000 in credit with them for storage. That should definitely bootstrap you pretty good. Is there any other, what other technical hurdles do you see or have you overcome to kind of get this thing going?
Well, right now we're actually working on refactoring our apps. So we do have Android and iOS apps out, but we're refactoring them and putting them in React, so that it'll just run a lot smoother. And so that should be done soon here. And we're really excited about that because that will help us move out of beta. And then, again, we're focusing on ad revenue for content creators. So just, another place where you can upload your stuff and make money off of ads. What else? Oh, and then a big thing that I'm really excited about actually is the storefront feature too.
Yeah.
For everyone, because we want to provide a really clean interface for cryptocurrency to be actually used as money. So we'll see that.
How do you feel about free speech versus censorship? What will your policies be?
Sorry to interrupt. I think let me see if I can just mute the audio on that so it doesn't interrupt people when they're talking and we can get to those questions. Please continue. What were you saying?
I don't know. I think that
You're talking about storefront.
Oh, yeah.
How we want to be able to encourage people to use their Bitcoin and crypto as money, because I think that if your goal is mainstream adoption, you have to use the currency in order for it to go to mainstream. So Kingsley and I have lived off of our crypto before, pretty much all last year, and so we kind of played around with that and experimented, and now we're excited to be able to build out a storefront feature for people to sell merchandise. And for instance, Larkin Rose can go on there and sell the most dangerous superstition, as many copies as he wants, without worrying about Amazon screwing with his monetization and his book sales there. So that's definitely something that we're looking forward to for sure.
Yeah, see, I got so excited that we just dove right into the middle. I need to back up once again. What do you guys label yourselves politically? That's where we should have began, I think. That's probably the most important thing.
The anarchist, voluntarist, libertarian, whatever you want to call us, abolitionist, whatever.
I'm pretty hardcore anarchist.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we want people to be free. We want everyone to just live free lives, no government intervention. And, we believe that self-governance is probably the best thing for humanity.
And that makes sense because your event is Anarcho Vegas, which isn't really the focus of this show, but is certainly a big. So, would you guys consider yourself activists then? I assume. And I guess the follow up to that would be: is this platform Flote an extension of your activism, or is this more of a business venture?
I mean, it's a business venture, but at the same time, it's just a place where speech, communication, and payments can flow freely. So
I feel like it's a passion project for me.
Yeah, I mean, it aligns, and that's the best part about it. It aligns with who we are personally, and also, we feel that it's a great time as far as a business to start to try to do this venture. So
right.
Sasha
just joined us on Mixer and asks, "What is Flote?" I guess we probably should have started there. Even what is Flote?
Flote's a social network where you can do all sorts of stuff. We don't spy on you. We don't have algorithms that are deceptive and only show you content that we want you to see.
We don't sell your data to third-party companies, so you are not the product.
Yeah. And we have, like we already went over, quite a few features out of the gates, and we'll be adding more with a clean design, and hopefully just a place that's friendly for people, an alternative compared to what's out there right now. It's just kind of sickening, and I think I saw someone else comment about that. It's just. Can you believe that we're having to even defend free speech in 2019? And we really agree. It's very strange times. It's actually it's pretty scary too.
When you have to say a word that has no, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I watch YouTube a lot, obviously, and even when I'm all work, I'll load up YouTube, a BitChute or whatever, and just watch a bunch of stuff. And it's now it's getting very Orwellian where people on YouTube are not able to say certain words, even if they're current events about whatever. And they're actually having to change the words they say just so they don't get kicked off the platform. Or
right. So their AI doesn't pick up on a word that demonetizes their whole video or even their whole channel.
And then I'll if you have autoplay on, I watch a lot of independent journalists, and all of a sudden once my queue is over, it goes to right to mainstream. It goes to Fox News, to CNN, MSNBC.
Yeah.
And it's and you can't block those channels. It's how come YouTube does not have a block feature for specific channels? It makes no sense whatsoever. It's just really weird what's going on with, we have Twitter and Facebook admitting, pretty much publicly that they read your direct messages. Mm-hmm. So
even to go even further than that, look what Google and Facebook and look what they're doing for information about vaccinations. I mean, they're censoring information about vaccinations. So whether you are anti-vax or even pro-vax, if you want to kind of get an unbiased opinion, you can't. You don't. They totally censor that. So I mean, that's super Orwellian and dangerous as well. So we, I don't know. It's getting scary out there, folks, for sure.
So again, we're just flowing from one thing into the next, and it's all very interesting. So Green and Barrett in the paid comment asks how he feels about free speech versus censorship. What will your policies be? We have Sasha in the comments is talking to the other side of that. What about protecting people? They say, or helping police or federal agents when a user has affected or committed a crime. So I don't think it's fair to ask will you help law enforcement, because you have government guns pointed at you as a corporation in a lot of situations through the mechanism of court orders and warrants for search warrants and things like that. So I think it's a fair question to ask, what information are you storing that when demanded to hand it over, will you be able to give? And what are your plans for this? See, when I was thinking about competing with Facebook a year and a half ago, and there's another project I did called Face Mask, which allows people to encrypt their Facebook content such that only the people that they choose can decrypt and see. It's all integrated into the browser, and you can secure your content from anybody, including Facebook, because it's done through a browser extension. But immediately when I was designing that solution, I had to think about the future occurrence that would absolutely happen when you get that court order or that search warrant demanding that you hand over all the records that you have pertaining to a specific user. You really have to think about and plan for that. So can you kind of speak to all of this whole kind of web of issues?
Yeah. So, like you said, when you have a gun pointed to your head from the governments, we have to comply with U.S. law. But again, we're limiting what information we are taking from the users exactly, for that point, and we're encrypting it as well. So the major things that we really just only collect are email and IP address. So that's really it. And so as we also decentralize too, we're looking at different ways where, hey, maybe there's in this country where these servers are based, we only have this certain select information, but then other servers or nodes may have other information in other countries or jurisdictions. So it's definitely something that's at the forefront of what what we think about, and it also we don't want that information anyway.
Yeah.
And we want to protect our users and ourselves. The goal being that if they show up and say give us the information, we can say, we basically, or tell us to shut down, we'll be able to say we can't, and if they ask us for the information, we can just say
we don't have it.
Yeah, we don't have it. That's the ultimate goal. I think Andreas Antonopoulos said that like a couple of years ago or something.
So now let's talk on the other side, though. So, like when people get deplatformed from YouTube or Patreon or all this stuff, and I find myself in the uncomfortable position of defending these companies. That it is their servers, it is their equipment, their code, their service, and they have the right to associate with or disassociate from literally whoever they choose, and that is just freedom. And so, to speak on the other issue, is there anyone, any group, let's say, that you will not allow on your platform? And we can go to the obvious ones that are probably the edge cases, like actual Nazis. What's the website? Like I can't even remember the Nazi group. I forgot the name of the website. But anyway, is there anyone that you are going to disassociate from when it comes to your platform? As is your right. Like to Green and Barrett's question, where is your line in that sand, or is there one?
No, there's no line. I mean, if you don't want to see the content, then you can block those accounts. You can mute those accounts. You're an adult. You can handle it however you want. In order to see the content, you have to follow those people anyway. So we're making an interesting thing where you can make lists. So say if you have users can have like a full list of, say, Nazis that are on the Nazi list, and you can share that with other users where they can just click one click and block all those accounts or mute those accounts in the future.
Yeah.
So
there's no we're not like Facebook, where if someone reports your post, we're just automatically going to throw a 30-day ban on you. We're not trying to be a nanny site. Like Kingsley said, we're all adults. We can use the platform as we see fit. It really is individual responsibility to take control on what you want to see on your timeline.
I did not expect that answer. This is fascinating. So, if you don't mind, can we explore this a little bit deeper? What about like outright threats? Like if people are posting threats? Threats. I mean, if they're reported and there's legal action, then we'll, if we have to take it down, we will. But not. Oh, so you won't even take down threats unless like a court demands you to.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
I think we're seeing this on Facebook a lot. I mean, actually, one of our friends was just threatened on Facebook about a month ago, and he's a content creator. He has over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Someone threatened to go to his house and physically hurt him. And
Facebook, and then he responded in some, I don't know, somewhat derogatory fashion, but it was a response to the threat, and Facebook ended up banning him. So I don't want to be the judge, on that type of thing. You can block those people. If we're going to come up with more interesting ways of how to kind of make a safe space for yourself. If there's a lot of things. That's one of the reasons why we do collect IP addresses. So that helps us in regards to that type of thing.
That is my favorite comment of all time.
Oh, is it?
Nice, a social media site that takes the "don't be a pussy ass bitch" stance.
Yeah, that'll be our new tagline.
Should make that your subtitle. No, I am astounded well-rounded, honestly. You have taken the hardest line stance of any website in existence that I am aware of. Like, you have with this stance, you have surpassed Gab. Gab doesn't allow threats and things like that. So,
but isn't that crazy? It's just that all we're saying is, hey, take responsibility for what you post and what you see. I feel like that's not a very crazy thing to do or say. It's wild that these other platforms don't have that same stance. It's just individual responsibility.
I got to play devil's advocate, though. So, like, if I build a system and somebody starts using my property, my system, to spread evil in the world, why are you going to do that? Why are you going to allow your resources to be used for evil?
I mean, a lot of those people are already on Facebook. They're already on Twitter. A lot of them are on Gab, or not a lot of them. I mean, I think they did a study and it was actually a lower percentage or something, or maybe it was less people, but or maybe same percentage. I just think it's a lot a small percentage of people that actually kind of do those things. So I don't know. We'll come up with more interesting ways of how to deal with it as we go. We want people to be able to just express themselves freely and disassociate from people. We're also looking at ways where private accounts can be fully encrypted as well. So, if you are, you can always make your account private if you want, so that people can't see your comment or post on your comments unless you agree to interact with them or have them, engage with them. So I don't, and plus I don't want to hire a whole censorship team that's kind of scouring the site looking for everything. It's one of the things we want to remain lean as we build out, even as we decentralize. And also even using peer-to-peer payments, it's going to save us actually a lot of money in the long run, because we're not going to have to deal with you're kind of taking responsibility for doing interactions with financially and in communication.
I mean, I fucking admire y'all's bravery. Like you're risking parts of your site turning into 8chan or like they're saying in the comments, like what if somebody opens like a lolly anime porn profile? Like there's a lot of disgusting stuff out there that is still technically legal that you're not going to get a court order to take down, but you're going to take the absolute hardline stance that you're not going to censor unless forced to. I mean, I fucking admire your consistency. But have you thought this through? Because there's a lot of stuff on the internet.
Well, one thing that we do ask and we do enforce is that if something is has adult content in it, that it's marked as NSFW. So right now we can force posts, and in the near future here we can force accounts to basically enter kind of this adult mode if they violate it. So that is one thing where we want people to again opt into seeing that type of content, but we don't want to just kind of flourishing for anybody if they don't want to see it.
Okay, well, you have balls. You have larger balls than literally any other content, any other social network ever.
All we're doing is rewinding the clock. I mean, all these other sites, mostly acted this way just 5 years ago. For the most part, there was a little bit of censorship here and there, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it is now.
That's very true.
So I don't think it's that crazy. I think we're just treating the internet like it was just a couple of years ago, and we'll deal with things as we go through, and things might change, but for the most part, this is kind of what we believe right now.
Man, if it changes, if something comes up that makes you reconsider, I really hope you'll reach out and have the conversation, because this is fascinating. Like, again, I've been sort of in the shoes. I was doing the 3 months of kind of due diligence before starting this project, and I said no, it's not worth. I don't think I can do it. You've taken it up, and so it's like I'm going to live vicariously through you for a while, and I hope you'll reach out. If these topics change your mind or something like that, if something happens.
One interesting thing that we're going to do when we decentralize, for instance, is if we do happen to take some content down for whatever reason, well, that user would be able to host their own content in our network at their own expense, or they can host it on another user's node if that user decides. But we could create blacklists, for things if they violate our rules, for instance, or some sort of blocking.
It's fascinating that you describe that architecture, because that is the exact architecture I was going to consider making. I wanted to make a federated sort of microserver device. Like, so if you didn't want to run this device, you could just sign up and use my servers. But if you wanted to be censor proof, and if you wanted to be totally in control of your content, then you could, buy this, Raspberry Pi based device for, $80 or whatever, and plug it into your home internet, and it would federate with the rest of the social network's devices and allow you to self-host and become ungovernable, so to speak, when it comes to censorship. Is that kind of what you're talking about? Can you maybe go into that a little bit more?
Yeah, very, very similar. I mean, email works in a similar fashion. So does Mastodon. I would say kind of what we're looking at creating is kind of an advanced version of Mastodon. But yeah, it's, I think it makes sense, and we're really looking forward to getting to that stage.
Wow, that's awesome. Now I'm excited. I'm even more excited. This is really cool. So I had a follow-up question. I lost it. Oh, yes, Bitbacker. So I was an early adopter on Bitbacker, and the site just started falling apart, and it stopped, little things stopped working here and there over time. And it got to the point where I had people paying to support my channel on Bitbacker, and they just weren't able to, I wasn't able to upload, they weren't able to get access to contact. So I finally shut it down. I shut down my Bitbacker, and I got an email, I don't know, a month after I shut it down. They're like, hey, somebody just bought us. And I was like, oh, well, good luck. So it was apparently you guys?
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
The Bitbacker actually reached out because they thought that we might be like a suitable partner, and they were they were basically they didn't have enough time and enough bandwidth to keep the site running. So unfortunately, we were hoping that we would have enough bandwidth to kind of fix more things as we went along. And I feel really bad for some, the Bitbacker users, because we weren't able to fix things and build up floats at the same time as much as we would like. But now, yeah, we actually created a migration button on the Bitbacker site, so users can go log into their Bitbacker and migrate all of their account information and their posts to their previous posts to Flote very easily.
So who does your payment processing for USD on here for these supporters?
If
you don't mind. Sorry, what was it?
Bitcoin. Bitcoin through our wallet.
Oh, so if I sign up to support somebody, then do they not see the support content until until whatever the pledge amount is paid? Is that how that works? Or how does that work?
Yeah. They once you click on that and then they pay it, they have to load your Flote wallet, and then once you make a post on that specific tier, it'll show up. So yeah, it remains under a paywall.
So it's paywalled until, but only when they like pay. Because I noticed that you can subscribe, but you have to actually then pay with crypto or with.
Yes.
Okay.
With Bitcoin. Right now, yeah.
Yep.
So it's a Bitcoin wallet built in. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We built it ourselves.
Okay. Wow.
This is actually we didn't announce this yet, but we're adding wire integration, so people will be able to buy. It's a little buggy right now. We're still testing it. It's kind of pushed live a little early, but it's almost done.
Yeah, I'm fascinated. You guys are doing some cool stuff. You guys are doing stuff that nobody else is doing.
What's really cool is with this wire integration, so users will be able to connect with Wire, set that up. And then when they say they're subscribed to you every month, if they don't have
Bitcoin loaded in their wallet,
yeah, it'll automatically buy it from Wire and then send it to you,
which connects to your bank account or your debit or credit card.
Okay, I'm not familiar with Wire. Is it kind of like a PayPal, or what is Wire?
It's just it's a third party like white label solution for people to buy crypto.
I see. Okay, cool. Well, so is there any other headlines or announcements or interesting things that you'd like to make sure that people are aware of?
Yeah, just that we're adding that, fixing this wire thing so it works 100% all the time, and then we're adding the ads for content creator revenue.
Which we will take no fees from ad revenue.
Yeah, even with for the content ads, yeah, we're have two sets of ads. We're having content ads, which go to the content creators, and then network ads, which we monetize off of.
Right.
Oh, that was my next question. How are you paying yourselves? How do you monetize?
Yeah, so we'll have a set of ads that we monetize off of, and then we'll also have premium accounts for ad-free experience. And then we're gonna set up like a shop and all this other kind of stuff too, where we're thinking of just more creative ways. But we feel that if we just have a really friendly place for content creators to really make a large chunk of what they're contributing to the network, we can potentially get a large set of users, especially with what's happening on YouTube right now, and with all the Facebook stuff going on, and we feel long term this is kind of the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Well, I think, why Flote? Where'd the name come from?
So it came from our, one of the other founders who does our graphic design and is our front end dev. And it just, it's kind of interesting because it's kind of, Flote's kind of turning into this place where people who have been in Facebook jail or been demonetized or deplatformed on these other platforms, they're finding us and they're liking what we're doing and kind of our vision. And so it's just kind of a place where, hey, you can come here, you can stay afloat. We will, we're just,
we're playing around with the kind of tagline or description of where we're the digital Noah's Ark.
Oh, gotcha.
That's what it's kind of turning to now.
But technically the word float, FLOTE, is Old English for boat.
Yeah.
Come seek shelter from the apocalypse in our Noah's Ark. What was the quote earlier from Phobes that was it was like for people that aren't a little bitch? Yeah, that works too.
Pussy ass bitch.
Pussy ass bitch, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For non-pussy ass bitches. All right. Well, guys, much luck in your endeavors. I'm definitely going to follow it and cross-post all of my content there because let me think, because I don't want to just say this, because I've been really careful not to just blindly endorse new social networks and just say, well, hey, guys, I think this is what's next. I think this is the next big thing. Because so many of them spring up and just flame out very quickly. And so I don't think I've ever said, hey guys, I think this is what's next. And I came really close with Gab. I was like, Gab, this looks really promising. It's run by a Republican that, does censor some stuff and, does have a political agenda. And so I kind of, I held back on saying, hey guys, I think Gab is where it's at. And, I even went so far as I was about to run a Gab federated instance for Disenthrall to let people join and participate in the Gab network through this platform. But I just didn't have a good feeling about it. And so I'm hoping that you guys are innovating in areas that Gab is not. So let me just say I'm most excited about Flote right now.
Thank you. It's refreshing. You actually have great questions. So this was a really fantastic interview.
Well, I hope to have you back. Like, if you guys, innovate something, come up with some new features, come back and announce them. Let's talk it through. So this is really fascinating. This is really fun. Great space. Amazing project. You guys have anything else you'd like to say before we call it?
Just join Flote. No, I think that's it, really. I mean, we have a bunch of projects. So like Kingsley and I, we've run the Las Vegas Bitcoin meetup since 2014. We still continue to do so. I have both of us have Anarcho Vegas, which is ours. So if you're interested in coming to a conference that's focused on solutions, you can look at Anarcho Vegas. We're also doing a Crypto Vegas 2020. And Patrick, I want to talk to you about Feed the Need, because that's something that we're super interested in doing here in Vegas too.
I will talk till I'm dead about Feed the Need. What do you want to know?
So I know that you guys do it armed, and they've never bothered you? Like, you've never had any issues there?
Yes, church groups. A church group has been arrested in the state for doing what we have done 7 years in a row, unmolested, because it's a little bit different equation for the police to stare down 130 very well armed people to try and tell them that they can't feed the homeless. You can imagine the optics of that headline is not good for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's something that Kason and I sat down and talked about, and we really want to kind of encourage the members who are coming to Anarcho Vegas, but also the members of our Las Vegas community who, maybe these people aren't anarchists, but I feel like it's a great opportunity to kind of show the community that anarchists are not these big scary people who want to throw Molotov cocktails through windows. We genuinely care. We genuinely care about the homeless. We want to better our community, and so I think that's a great way to kind of get everybody involved. I don't really know anybody who says, no, fuck the homeless. You know what I mean? So
it's a uniquely positioned optical kind of event, so like you can push for armed resistance to a million other immoral things that the government tries to do or tries to, restrict you. But most normies would still kind of say, you don't need to resist government with guns. But when you look at them and say, look, they will literally put me in a cage for helping people, for feeding people in the dead of winter, and that's our line in the sand. Like we're not okay with that. We're going to help people and we're going to resist evil government if they try something, and we're going to resist it with guns. And I don't think let me think. I haven't had a single conversation with a normie that says, yeah, that's you still shouldn't resist. You should, yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll try to come to Feed the Need in Dallas. You said it's December 7th?
December 7th. Yep. You're welcome to join us for sure. We have people coming from New York. We've got, we've maybe from Tennessee. We got people coming. I'm really proud of this. Like, I've been to a lot of activist stuff. I've pushed guillotines up the step of courthouses and given speeches on freedom. I've done all kinds of street activism, and there is nothing like this. There is nothing like doing good, doing something that is just good and right in the world, and having it be something that also allows you to make a very powerful, visceral statement against government evil at the same time. It's amazing. There's nothing like it.
I love that. And I think my good friend, my Kratom dealer, Luis Misas, is going to be there. Is that right?
Yeah, he's been there every year, I think. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited. My Kratom dealer.
Yeah. We have Luis is a dealer and is the biggest Kratom dealer, and he is in the area. Yep.
It's fabulous. I love him. But yeah, we'll definitely try to make it.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, stay in touch if you're coming, and we'll make sure that you don't get lost in the mix or whatever.
Yeah, I hope so. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for having us. And follow us on Flote. He's at King, and I am at Aaron Nakamoto. So
excellent. And somebody in the comments says to let you know that they were holding out until this show, and they have just signed up for Flote. So you got at least +1 from this. So Thanks, guys, for taking the time to come on the show. And again, please, you have an open invitation to come back in the future.
I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
Thanks so much.
All right. Guys, thanks for watching. And thanks again to our supporters. And thanks again to Kason. And we will catch you guys next time.